Today's lesson is how to decenter men and stop craving male validation.
Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. It's your host London Lamborghini, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Now, when you see these images, what is your gut level instinctual first reaction? Because for me, I'm gonna be honest, we listen, we don't judge. My reaction is, I want that. I want that. I want that. The presence of a desire is evident, and that's okay. That is okay. However, when that desire grows and grows and grows uncontrollably, it can turn into desperation, which can lead you to do some crazy behaviors and some crazy actions. Thus, the need for decentering men to enter the group chat. So without talking too much, let's get into this video, take some notes, leave a comment, and let's play the video.
Today's lesson is how to decenter men and stop craving male validation. You need to find hobbies that don't have to do with men. If you don't have any hobbies, then the only real thing going on for you that's outside of the normal is your relationship. Next is make a to-do list every single day that doesn't have to do with men. Wake up, you get on a dating app, you text men, swiping on a dating app to texting these men, and then you call them and you're on FaceTime with them all day. You're always with them. Anytime they want you to pull up, you're pulling up. Texting them all day will not be a fucking option because you're gonna cut that out by only doing things that you have to do on your to-do list. Obviously, keep yourself so busy that you don't have time to think about them. This one works wonders. You don't have to act like, oh, I'm gonna ignore his text for 3 hours, because girl, you're already not gonna respond for those 3 hours because you're gonna be doing things to level up yourself. And then slowly but surely, you will start to get used to their presence not being there all the time. It'll become a normal thing for you not to call them and not to text them. You'll realize how much happier you are to not constantly being like, how can I cater to the male gaze? How can I make him think that I'm this amazing person? Because you'll just be living your life. You won't be asking yourself, why hasn't he called me back yet? You'll be so busy to the point where you won't even notice that he hasn't texted you. And that is how you start to decenter them from your life, by just doing you. Delete the dating apps. I'm not playing with you. Delete them dating apps, girl. Having dating apps just proves that these random men that you don't even know still have access to you. You need to make it clear to yourself you're not accessible without commitment. And dating apps, girl, there's no commitment coming out of dating apps, especially Tinder. Go ahead and stop checking your social media, DMs, messages, notifications. These are men that you've never met, you don't see them, and yet you're wondering who's liking your stuff. You're wondering who's in your DMs. If you're checking your DMs specifically to text men, ooh, this next one, girl. Do not Snapchat a man. Do not Snapchat a man. Do not Snapchat a... Absolutely no exceptions. I didn't care about a man, then I would choose to snap him. Just think about that. Like, as a man, why would he choose to snap you over just texting you regularly? When a man asks me for my Snapchat, I immediately am like, get far away from me. Last one is, you do not have to hate men in order to prioritize yourself in your life before theirs. Just keep your distance. I'm not saying act like men don't exist and stop dating and stop. No, like absolutely not. I'm just saying you need to always put yourself first. The moment that you put a man before you is the moment that you make men the center of your life. That's a no-no. They should be centering you, honey. I'll let you guys screenshot this for future use so that you never forget. All right, dolls, good luck.
Some of you seem to be confused about what decentering men actually means, so allow me to explain it to you. You can be in a relationship and still decenter men. You can be married and still decenter men. You can be celibate, you can be actively dating and still have men decentered in your life. What this phrase means is that you have established a life outside of the approval and the desire of men. So how do you know if you're doing that? Here are a few questions that you can ask yourself. First, if I did not care about looking attractive or looking sexy to the opposite sex, what would I actually like to wear? What makes me feel comfortable? How do I want to show up in the world? If I did not get married, how could I create the best and most abundant life for myself? What would that look like? Am I actively creating that life now? And lastly, what hobbies or interests do I have that don't involve being around men or have male attention as a component of it? That's all it is. I don't know where the narrative came from that suggested that decentering men equated to hating men. That is not the case. We've seen now that so many women get into these relationships with men, and when the relationship ends, they don't even know who they are or what they enjoy doing. We are no longer losing ourselves in relationships because we don't have to.
I decentered men for 8 months, so you didn't have to, and this is what happened. I was always the one to always be in a situationship, dating someone new, having a new boyfriend, or just always in a long-term relationship, so I just thought, I'm kind of sick of this. I have had the best year, I kid you not. I have done a lot of things self-help-wise that I wanted to do. For example, I feel like I used to be a little insecure, and now I feel like I'm more confident. I can speak up more. I'm not as shy as I used to be, and my world does not revolve around a text back. Back in the day, I used to have a no call, no show policy. I still have that policy, but I feel like it's only when I know that some shenanigans is going on and I just know I shouldn't be a part of it. Also, stop doing things for the male gaze. I used to be a little bit of a hoochie. Not completely. I wasn't like thoughty, but I did show a lot of skin. So now I feel like I'm a little more modest in my approach and how I dress. Like today, I love this outfit. And I'm fully covered. The only thing you can get out of me is a shoulder babe. Like, be for real. But I feel like it's just helped me kind of grow as a woman to decenter men. I'm not completely off dating, but I just feel like when I do start dating seriously, my intentions are very clear and I won't stay around longer than I need to. So I feel like this decentering men journey is very helpful.
What they don't tell you about when you start decentering men in your life is that you'll stop being able to relate to so many people and so many different types of conversation. When I was constantly dating and constantly having crushes, I was able to relate to so many of my friends. I was able to relate to this larger cultural zeitgeist of like single woman culture. Now that I've stopped dating and I've stopped centering men in my life, I really have very, very few, almost no people to relate to, because people aren't posting about decentering men as much as they are about being single and wanting to date. So it makes the process of decentering men and decentering pursuing dating a little bit more lonely and isolated. And it's just interesting.
My entire childhood, my mother, from personal experience, would constantly tell me, don't ever, ever, ever put your life on pause for a man. Like, don't move anywhere for him, don't stay somewhere for him, always put yourself first, right? Guess what I did? The opposite, of course. Whoever listens to their mother. I dated my ex-boyfriend throughout grad school. It was a long distance relationship. He was in the States, I was in Italy, and then when I was in grad school, he promised me that he wanted to marry me. Like, that was his thing. He brought it up. I didn't say anything about it. I was good just like going with the vibes, and all of a sudden he's like, marriage. And I was like, wait, what is going on? Oh, marriage. Okay, cool. So the plan was I would go down to Florida after I graduated. We would try it out for 6 months, then get married. And then a few months in, he was like, oh, no, I can't, we can't get married. Anyway, because of that specific decision, I put on pause a bunch of opportunities I possibly could have had straight out of school, and I ended up derailing my life for like 3 years. But ultimately, the lesson that I should have already learned just by listening to my mother was don't center men. Luckily, I don't have regrets, but I can't say it wasn't a difficult lesson.
Hi, Camille here to remind you that if you're going to decenter men from your life, it's actually not just a phase, it's an actual everyday practice that you need to utilize every single day in order for it to effectively work. And if you want tips and tricks on how to do that, stick around and I'll teach you how. Number 1, delete all your dating apps, honey. By you searching and swiping each day on different men, technically you're kind of making them the center of your life, when really you should be centering yourself. Delete those dating apps, honey. It's not working for you. It's low-hanging fruit, trust me. Number 2, fix your circles. Not everybody's meant to be in your life, and as you glow and grow on your journey, you're gonna find that the people that you were once aligned with, you no longer align with them anymore. And that's totally okay. If you have that girlfriend who's constantly centering men and is constantly just obsessing about a husband, her boyfriend, or always has man problems, you need to let her go, sis, okay? I know it's hard, but she's gonna hold you back. Because the more you let go of those misaligned friends, the more space it creates for you to invite more aligned friends into your life. Number 3, find a hobby. It can be anything. Something that made you happy growing up as a kid, tap into that again. For me, it was always theatrics and being creative, such as photography, fashion, and just expressing myself through those outlets. It allowed me to just tap back into my inner child and just do something that I'm passionate about. And you can also make it into a hustle, baby, okay? Don't wait on a man to invest in you, okay? Invest in yourself. Ooh, what number am I at? I got the attention span of a squirrel, baby, so just bear with me. We're just gonna go off the top from this point. Oh, yes, have a self-care day. Self-care day. It's basically a day where you just do whatever, you spoil yourself, whether you buy yourself flowers, buy yourself makeup from Sephora, you can buy yourself new skincare products, get a massage, get your hair done, get your nails did, take yourself shopping, and get into the habit of doing that, because that self-care day can turn into self-care days. Invest in your goals, no matter how big or small they are. Yo, the number of women that I see buying houses, investing in their businesses, starting businesses, going back to school to learn a new skill is astronomical. Waiting on a man to do those things for you, you're kind of centering them. Like and comment for more, okay?
Excuse my low tone voice. I'm going to briefly go over my story and how this affects me personally. So let's get high school and middle school and childhood out the way, because that's a story in itself about my interactions with crushes and romance. But let's start in college. So in college, I had spent all my student loan and I wanted extra money. So I thought, oh, I'd love to be a sugar baby. But I didn't even know what that was. I had never met a sugar baby. I'd never heard any stories about it. It was just kind of a term floating around my mind, but I didn't know the specifics. So, as any normal Gen Z would do, I went to YouTube to do some research. And I found out, wow, this girl's getting paid to do nothing. Just to text an old man. So, and as I continued to do more research, I found the world of hypergamy. And to my surprise, there were women that are actively looking to marry rich solely just so that they don't have to work. I was very surprised by this because I was raised by a single mother, divorced single mother. She'd always worked. I didn't know there were women out there that didn't work. I just didn't know that. And I'd gone to university for science. I'd always had it in my mind, I'm going to be a scientist, I'm going to be this great researcher, I'm going to cure cancer, blah, 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 whatever. But when I found this world, I said, wow, I don't want to work. This sounds amazing. You get to go shopping all day, you get to play dress up, you get to buy whatever you want, you get to be rich, and you don't have to do anything? That sounds amazing. And I had engaged in successful hypergamous relationships and successful hypergamous dating experiences long before I had ever heard of Shira 7 and Sprinkle Sprinkle. So I was fully in my Sprinkle Sprinkle era for about 2 years before I found Shira, and then after I found Shira, I was going even deeper down the rabbit hole for another 2 years. So for 4 years, I genuinely saw this time as time well spent because marriage was the goal. And during that 4-year time, I had said, you know what? I'm going to give myself 10 years to marry as rich as I possibly can. Because it just might take me 10 years for me to contort myself and mold myself into the version of a woman that I need to become to marry as rich as I possibly can. A 10-year plan. So this definitely puts into perspective how willing and eager I was to center my life around marriage and men just to, get to a point. It wasn't until the new trophy wife incident that I said I'm done. And if you don't know, you can go look through my other videos to go see the details of the incident. Isis, the new trophy wife, was married to a man who did these unspeakable, horrific, heinous, despicable, malignant crimes against his own family. It's disgusting. I don't even want to repeat it. But that situation made me think, like, this life that I'm pursuing, is this worth my investment? Is it worth my energy? Is it worth my focus and my attention? For 10 years, these 10 years that haven't happened yet, that I was so willing to commit to achieve such a life. Is that worth it? But anyway, these are the things to think about. Let me know what you think in the comments. I definitely have started my decentering journey at the end of this year, so I'm very new to this whole space. I'm excited to see where the journey takes me. I would love to hear your thoughts, love to hear your comments about your personal journey and what's going on in your life. And thank you for all the new subscribers. I love you all. Thank you for helping me grow this channel, and I will catch you in the next video.